Jesus, that stench. There's one. And there, and there. Oh my God.
A foul odor fills a family home in Battleground, Washington. The grandfather notices something wrong. His grandson notices something worse. Inside a locked garage, they discover a scene of unimaginable horror. 5 dogs are dead, 4 are barely alive, and the man responsible has disappeared. This is the story of Andre Twiliger and the animals he left to die. Welcome to World_Mirror, November the 15th, 2024. A police sergeant responds to an animal cruelty report from a man named Zeus. He says he forced entry into his family's locked garage after his grandfather noticed a foul smell coming from inside. What he found was a nightmare. Zeus tells the officer what he discovered. The bodies of dead dogs rotting in the darkness, puppies that appeared to have been forced to eat each other, what looks like a grave dug in preparation for more death, and an extension cord running from the attic, apparently connected to cameras his cousin Andre had installed because he believed people were spying on him from the attic. The officer learns that Andre Twiliger is Zeus's cousin. He's 35 years old. He showed up at the family home months ago with a couple of dogs. One had puppies, and then Andre just disappeared. He locked the garage. He left the dogs inside, and he didn't come back. But not all the dogs are dead yet, officer. So there are 4 alive dogs, 2 puppies right here in the front door. I brought them in last night and gave them some food and water. 2 alive big dogs. They seemed pretty friendly. Zeus explains that he only knew of 2 dogs, but his grandfather said Andre had more, many more, and they've been locked in that garage for at least 2 or 3 days, maybe longer. Officer, how many dogs did he have that you're aware of? Zeus, 4. I only knew of 2 dogs, but there's a lot of dead dogs in there and I don't know how many. The sergeant, an animal control officer, put on gas masks and gloves. They prepare themselves for what they're about to see, but nothing can really prepare you for this. They open the garage door. Officer, this is honestly worse than I thought it was going to be. The garage is a tomb. Trash covers the floor. Animal feces and urine are everywhere. The stench is overwhelming. Dead dogs are scattered throughout, hidden beneath debris and darkness. The filth is so thick, so complete, that finding all the bodies will take more than just police. They're going to need a hazmat crew, but first they need to find the living dogs. Officer, these are new puppies, nice little puppies. Hello. And then the 2 big adult dogs there in the laundry room. Okay, so these guys were in the crate with the dog that's dead. Zeus's grandfather sits down with the officer. He explains how this happened, how he trusted his oldest grandson, how Andre showed up months ago with a couple of dogs, how the dogs had puppies, how Andre said he would take care of them. Grandfather, he showed up here a few months ago with a couple of dogs. One of them ended up having puppies, and he'd be in and out, and I never questioned him because he was my oldest grandson. He further explains that he was unemployed, that he did nothing except stay at the house, that there was dog food everywhere, but the dogs were never fed. Grandfather, dude's unemployed. He doesn't do anything at all except stay at the house full of dog food right here that he wasn't using to feed the dogs at all. He usually took care of them, and I never questioned it because I'd always ask him everything. Okay, how's the dog? They're all fine. And then come to find out they're not. The grandfather is racked with guilt. He had his head buried in the sand. He trusted his grandson, and that trust led to the slow death of 5 dogs. Grandfather, I had my head buried in the freaking sand. Not judging you, but trying to be a nice guy and let people stay here has just come out and bite me in the arse. The living dogs are taken by the Humane Society. 4 dogs rescued, safe, but 5 are still inside that garage, and they need to be found. 4 days later, on November 19th, a detective and officer return. This time they're prepared. They have protective gear. They have documentation equipment. They're ready to find every single dead dog in that garage and document what happened. What they find is even more horrifying than anyone imagined. Detective, I'm really sorry for what you're about to see. As they move through the debris, they discover the first dog, a white and black pit bull lying near the garage door. But it's not intact. The rearmost portion of his pelvis and back legs are missing. The body shows signs of cannibalism. The living dogs, desperate and starving, ate their dead companion to survive. They find more. A second pit bull beneath a workbench, another dog inside a metal kennel, its skeleton partially exposed. A third dog in a plastic crate, its door blocked by debris. Inside the crate is a cut-open bottle of dog food, but there's no water, just food that the trapped dog couldn't reach, just starvation. Detective. 5. You said 4 corpses and some puppies. Yeah. So there's going to be, I think they found 1 in that kennel back there. There's 1 behind that mattress. There's 2 here. There's 2 or 3 right there. And there's a bunch of puppies here. The tally is devastating. 5 dogs are dead. The cause of death is clear. Starvation, dehydration, lack of nutrition. And for the pit bull found decomposing by the overhead door, cannibalism. The living dogs ate the dead one in a desperate attempt to survive. A forensic veterinarian later writes that the animals, both living and deceased, suffered immeasurably. She describes their experience as akin to torture. 5 living creatures slowly dying in darkness, trapped in filth, starving, desperate, eating each other to stay alive. But where is Andre Twiliger? He's gone. He left the family home 2 days before police arrived. The grandfather says he stopped by briefly. He told him to leave. He didn't contact police. No one knows where Andre went after that. But there's a history here, a troubling pattern. Detective, do you know any history on this guy? Yeah, looks like I didn't finish reading it, but in Camas, he had a similar situation happen in Camas. A police department responded to a call of a deceased pit bull in a plastic tote alongside the road. Using a microchip scanner, they learned its name was Captain and he belonged to Andre. An investigation concluded the dog had been struck by a vehicle. Or did Andre kill it? Did he abandon it? No one knows, but it's clear there's a pattern. Dead dogs, abandoned animals, and a man with mental health issues that nobody is addressing. Zeus mentions something chilling. His cousin had installed cameras in the attic. Cameras everywhere, because he believed people were spying on him. He had nothing but free time. He sat around doing nothing. And he believed the world was watching him from above. This is the mind of someone in crisis, someone experiencing paranoia, delusion, someone who left 5 dogs to die while he disappeared into the darkness. On March 7th, 2025, Andre Twiliger was located and taken into custody. A warrant was issued for 5 counts of animal cruelty in the 1st degree and 4 counts of animal cruelty in the 2nd degree. But the details of his arrest, his charges, and his current status remain unclear. What is clear is what happened to the 4 surviving dogs. By December 13th, 2024, all 4 dogs had gained weight. All 4 were determined to have no medical concerns. All 4 were eventually adopted into loving homes. They were given a second chance. They were saved from the darkness. They were given families who would care for them. But 5 dogs didn't make it. 5 dogs died in that locked garage. 5 dogs suffered immeasurably. 5 dogs paid the price for Andre Twiliger's negligence and cruelty. This is a story about the darkness that can hide in plain sight. It's about a grandfather who trusted his grandson too much. It's about a man with untreated mental illness who hurt innocent animals. It's about the resilience of 4 dogs who survived the unthinkable. And it's a reminder to everyone who owns a pet or who cares about animals, that we have a responsibility to protect them. We have a duty to speak up when we see signs of abuse. We have an obligation to intervene when we suspect an animal is suffering. Because animals cannot speak for themselves, they cannot call for help, they cannot escape. They can only suffer and hope that someone notices. This is World_Mirror. We show you the stories hidden in plain sight. We expose the cruelty that hides behind closed doors. We demand justice for the voiceless. Subscribe to World_Mirror for daily crime investigations, animal cruelty exposés, and the real stories that mainstream media overlooks. Because the truth always surfaces. And sometimes that truth is the suffering of innocent animals left to die in darkness. We'll see you next time.